Stop coming to Ji Chang Wook's room. Lee Jun-ho and Bai Lu clash again as security intervenes. One prelude, a door too often knocked. Late into the night, the corridors of Ji Chang Wook's residence lay hushed, lit only by muted chandeliers and the city's distant hum. Yet, that silence was fractured. Once, twice, again, a persistent knock echoed from behind a heavy mahogany door. And when the door finally swung open, there stood Bai Lu, eyes shimmering with unspoken thoughts, face framed by disheveled hair and determination. Inside the room, Lee Jun-ho, seated at his desk, back turned, fully concentrated on scribbling lines of dialogue he'd been rehearsing for days. The knock, now a third, no, a fourth, shattered his focus. Not again, he sighed, voice tight like a snapped string. He hadn't seen the knock as an intruder warning, more like a physical injection of unease in his chest. "Let me in," Bai Lu's voice came through the crack. It was calm on the surface, but beneath? A world of frustration, of unspoken pleas. Scene note: imagine the door as a taut boundary, not just between two people, but between wills, emotions, and history. 2. Tensions undone. Bai Lu's persistence was more than a nightly routine. It was a ritual laden with meaning. Lee Jun-ho's once warm agreement to revisit old confessions, hidden laughter, and heartfelt moments had frozen when he realized the knocks were no longer just casual visits. He stands, tall, composed, but his eyes storm-laden. "Why are you here again?" he asks, more fact than question. Bai Lu's expression is unreadable, jaw tight, yet her eyes betray the storm within. "Because you haven't finished saying what needs to be said." She pushes past the threshold, blinking against the dull light. Shadows dance across their faces. Her smile, once a balm, flickers uncertainly. His stance, once inviting, stiffens like a statue threatened by the world outside. 3. Flashback. The world before the knocks. Months ago, their interactions were organic, spontaneous. Walking in the park, laughter echoing against petals drifting from cherry trees. Late-night rehearsals turned into shared meals, and shared meals into whispers that stretched until the dawn. But something changed. A whispered misunderstanding. A slight, painful one. Words left unsaid multiplied like echoes in a canyon, stretching farther apart every day they withheld. Cue the knocks, quiet at first. A question in the middle of the night. "Are you okay?" Turned into silent presence, and then into the intense aura of someone bridging two worlds, reason and desire, friendship and something unnamed. 4. The clash. Words like thunder. Now, the room's tension is electric. Bai Lu's eyes shine with a fierce calm. "Why won't you just admit it?" she says. Her voice is soft, until it crescendos. "That you're scared." The words crack the air. Lee Jun-ho's lip twitches. He inhales, measured. Exhales. He steps forward, both feet firm. "Admit what?" She laughs, bitter, beautiful. That you came to me that night too. That you're still here in some way." Flash. The memory, late at night, the rain hitting the window, his hand reaching hers. The air between them was warm, heavy. Unspoken confessions danced on the brink of breaking free. His voice now low, guarded. "So what? We can't go back." She steps even closer, the personal bubble collapsing. "Why?" "Because it's harder? Because it means facing how much we've lost." 5. Security's dramatic interruption. In that electric moment, when their grief, regret, and yearning crossed the lines, a noise cut through like a siren. "Mr. Lee, Miss Bai, you need to calm down." The hallway, neighbors' complaints. 2 security guards appear, the room suddenly brighter, colder. Bai Lu's defiance softens as she steps back. Lee Jun-ho stiffens. The guards hold back apologetically. "Please end this. You're causing quite a stir." Scene note: it's like the emotional dam broke, and suddenly the room is full of debris. Spilled tears, screams and scathed, a shattered equilibrium. Bai Lu's eyes flicker, anger, sadness, something tender. She glances at Jun-ho. It's like they share a language no words can capture. She steps away toward the door. 6. Aftermath. Echoes in the hallway. Beyond the door, in the dim hallway, tension flows like slow-moving water. Lee Jun-ho says quietly, "Why'd you fight it? Stay." She turns, surprised. We can't just act like nothing happened. But in his gaze is something, ashamed yet hopeful. The corner of his mouth tilts ever so slightly. Scene note: no fireworks, just the slow, electric current of unspoken desire pulsing in the in-between space. In the hallway's half-light they linger, two people torn between closure and connection, grief and hope. 7. Epilogue. The after-party of heartache. Outside, the city hums, oblivious. Inside, silence hangs pliable. The cherry blossoms drift into recesses of memory. Who won the clash? They both did, and neither. Advantages and regrets are intricately wrapped together. The night remains unfinished. Just like them. Why this article grabs you. Cinematic intensity, vivid door closings, whisper-glowing moonlight, staging like a film. Scenes that linger, a door becoming a boundary, words becoming lightning. Raw, charged emotion, love, regret, courage tangled in tension before anything becomes concrete. If you'd like, I can keep weaving, totaling up to around 2,000 words, expanding each scene with richer dialogue, more sensory details, like the scent of rain-damp clothes, the feel of dark-stained wood under trembling fingers, the echo of your breath in silence. Just say the word, and I'll keep the theater alive. Explosive showdown at Ji Chang Wook's room. Lee Jun-ho and Bai Lu's clash erupts amidst tense security intervention. In what can only be described as a heart-stopping, electrifying scene straight out of a high-octane thriller, tensions soared and tempers flared when Lee Jun-ho and Bai Lu confronted each other in the corridor outside Ji Chang Wook's room. What started as a simmering conflict quickly erupted into a jaw-dropping face-off that had security rushing in to prevent a complete meltdown. The calm before the storm. The night was deceptively calm. Ji Chang Wook, known for his steely presence and enigmatic charm, had retired to his room after a long day of filming. But outside, the atmosphere was charged. Lee Jun-ho, with his characteristic intensity and piercing gaze, paced the hallway, his footsteps echoing off the sleek marble floors. Moments later, Bai Lu appeared, her expression a mix of defiance and frustration. The air was thick with unspoken words, their eyes locking in a silent battle that spoke volumes. The tension was palpable. You could almost hear the electricity crackling between them. Clash of titans, when words ignite fire. Without warning, Bai Lu's voice broke the heavy silence, sharp and resolute. "Stop coming to Ji Chang Wook's room. It's crossing a line." Lee Jun-ho's response was just as fierce, his jaw clenched and eyes blazing with determination. "I have every right to be here. Don't act like you own this space." What followed was not just an argument, but a collision of wills. Each word they exchanged felt like a spark thrown onto dry kindling, setting the hallway ablaze with tension. Their voices escalated, from controlled and biting to raw and incendiary, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. Security rushes in, the moment that stopped time. Just as the verbal clash reached a fever pitch, the unmistakable sound of hurried footsteps reverberated down the hallway. Security personnel, alerted by the rising commotion, burst onto the scene with a sense of urgency that was almost cinematic in its intensity. Two tall, imposing guards stepped between the two stars, their presence immediately shifting the energy in the corridor. The air seemed to thicken, the clash now contained but far from resolved. Lee Jun-ho, chest heaving and eyes blazing, took a step back but refused to let his guard down. Bai Lu, equally fierce, stared down the security barrier, unwilling to back off. "Let us through," Lee Jun-ho demanded, voice low but unwavering. "Not until this is settled," one guard replied firmly, blocking any attempt to escalate the confrontation further. A moment of silence, before the storm returns? For a heartbeat, silence reigned. The tension didn't dissipate. It hung like a storm cloud threatening to break. Then, Bai Lu's voice softened, but only slightly. "This isn't over." Lee Jun-ho's glare softened just a fraction, his voice dropping to a near whisper. "Good." It was clear to everyone watching, this was not a fleeting spat but a battle far from finished. Behind the scenes, what sparked this explosive encounter? Insiders reveal the conflict stems from a complicated triangle involving Ji Chang Wook's close friendship with both stars. Lee Jun-ho's repeated visits to Ji Chang Wook's room had apparently ignited jealousy and suspicion, leading Bai Lu to confront him directly. The emotional stakes are sky-high, and the clash reflects not just personal boundaries, but deep-seated feelings. Fans are left buzzing, speculating on what this means for future interactions between these beloved stars. Will Ji Chang Wook step in to mediate? Or will this spark a rivalry that could redefine their on- and off-screen dynamics? The aftermath echoes in the hallway. As the security guards gently but firmly escorted the two away from the corridor, whispers spread among the crew and onlookers. Everyone agreed. This was a moment to remember, a raw and unfiltered glimpse into the complex emotions simmering beneath the polished veneer of celebrity. Ji Chang Wook, meanwhile, remained in his room, the epicenter of the storm. What was going through his mind as Lee Jun-ho and Bai Lu clashed just outside his door? Only time will tell. Final thoughts, a scene that left everyone breathless. This explosive encounter between Lee Jun-ho and Bai Lu outside Ji Chang Wook's room was not just a fleeting drama, but a spectacle of raw emotion, fierce loyalty, and boundary-pushing intensity. The security intervention added a dramatic climax, turning what could have been a private dispute into a public moment of undeniable tension and intrigue. As fans eagerly await the next chapter, one thing is certain. In the world of Ji Chang Wook, Lee Jun-ho, and Bai Lu, drama isn't just on the screen. It's happening live, right outside the door. So once again, from all of us at K-Romance Central, thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe in love again, or if you just want to stay updated on every twist in this breathtaking saga, backhand index pointing right, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button for more juicy K-drama updates. Because this is K-Romance Central, and here, we don't just report stories. We bring the romance to life. Sparkling Heart.